Okay, this packet was sent by email. First aid for feelings. You don't need the worksheet. You can just listen, but if you want to open up that file and find this one that says, "What do I do when I feel afraid?" You can look for this page. Otherwise, you can just listen as I go through this and share it with you. So we talked about zones and triggers and things that could happen at home that could make you feel anxious or overwhelmed, and how it might put you in different zones: the blue zone, the yellow zone, the red zone. Obviously, when you're in the green zone, then that's a good thing. But what do you do when you feel afraid? Sometimes we act out and people think we're angry, but really the feelings that we have is more fear. We just don't realize it, or we're too scared to admit that we're afraid. Um, if you're like a lot of kids right now, and adults too, everyone is feeling a little overwhelmed because there's been so many changes to our routine. We don't really know. We're getting different information. So sometimes it's scary because we don't know what's going to happen next. And when we're afraid, here are some things we can do to try and make ourselves feel better. So they're giving you different choices. So the first thing they say is turn off the TV. That would be the first thing that you need to do if you're feeling anxiety, especially if you're watching the news or watching a scary show. Turn the TV off. If you're just sitting there all day in front of the TV, that even if you're watching happy things like Disney Plus or National Geographic or an education channel, if you sit there for too long, your body is going to start to feel stress because you need to get up and be moving. Well, the first thing you should do is get yourself a glass of cold water. So go in the kitchen and get yourself a glass of cold water. Maybe you want to listen to some calming music. If you're feeling really afraid or stressed, sometimes it helps to write your feelings in a journal. And on Fridays, you can do your free write. So that would be a great time for you to write your feelings down and also get credit for doing your work. Obviously, if there's something that you're feeling afraid and you want some of your questions answered, talk to a caring grown-up who can help you. We've done some deep breathing exercises. So if you take some deep breaths and exhale slowly, you can always go back and watch those exercises that I was doing with yourself. Tell yourself to be brave and that you'll be okay. Sometimes this works. I'll just show you where I'm still reading. And sometimes that's not really enough for me, but maybe if someone else tells you, so maybe you need to just go and tell someone else, this is really hard for me. Help me get through it. Curl up and read your favorite book. That can be a good thing. If you have a lot of questions, then you could get the facts. I know that seems a lot different than turn off the TV, but ask an adult. If you have questions about what's going on, ask someone and get some of those questions answered. They might not have all the answers, but you could look them up together. Draw a picture of what you're afraid of. And then the last one says, get and give hugs, virtual if needed. You hopefully have a family member that you can go to if you need a calming hug or maybe some deep pressure on your shoulders to make yourself feel better. Your feelings send messages to your brain that affect how you think, feel, and act. When you express them, others can understand what you're going through. So to talk about being afraid, and then if you're acting like you're angry, the person that you're acting in anger towards might understand that really you're just afraid of what's going on. All feelings are okay, but keeping them inside causes aches and pains. Obviously, keeping them inside until you explode doesn't help other people either. And then they said to circle the feelings that you're having right now. Now, if you weren't able to pull this page up, then you can just point. I'll leave it up here for a little bit so you can point to the ones that you're feeling and talk about some of those feelings. And maybe there's some feelings you have that aren't even on here. When things seem scary and you tremble with fear, tell yourself to be brave and your courage will appear. And then they did give you a line to write other feelings. So this is just something good that you could go through to think and sort through your feelings. Again, helping you identify those feelings is a good beginning so that you know what you can do to safely and healthily, in a healthy way, to deal with those feelings in an appropriate way so you can move forward and get your work done. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend.